Today what we learn is, well we did learn, but we learned how to court.
How to court, yeah. What's courting, you said?
Yeah, what's court? What do you mean court?
I'm not sure you really want to know.
Court?
That you get a girl, take his own hair. But what we learned about the old boxing, what the people's, what was it, Geezers Club, innit? What they think about the boxing up to now, and what they think about the Olympics coming to London, and how they used to do it back then, and what got them into boxing and that.
What I was saying, the kids, all the young gentlemen here asked an interesting question, and they really were interested in what was our life when we left in East London. And part of the thing is interesting, they were interested to know about it. It's very good, very important, and it's part of the thing is, our Geezer Club is more likely we like to pass our knowledge and information to the next generation. And part of the thing is, the more we pass it on, the more they understand what the previous generation went through it.
Well, I'd just like to say it's been a pleasure meeting all the old school, talking to them, especially Ted. And the new school getting together, it's a pleasure. You know, hopefully we can come here and see you again, and we can do a lot more stuff together, as the man said, to educate all the youngsters and let them know that we have got a lot of elders round here and we've got to respect them. And it'd be nice when we see you in the street that we'll be able to say to you hello now. We know where you are and you know where we are.
We learned how that the way that they lived back in their days is like completely different to the way that we live today. Like most of our kids are stuck up in their house, like watching TV or on their video games, when back in the day they were out on the street every day playing with their friends, like enjoying the sun, like all stuff like that, and it was completely different to the way that we live today.
One thing I've learned by running this club, and there's no one in our club that has the fear of crime like a lot of old people do.
Oh, no.
The trouble with the youngsters of the day, when they're 14 years old, a lot of them are 6 foot tall and weigh about 15 stone. And for an old person, it's the fear of crime. It's not that they're, you know, they do get frightened. You hear old people say they won't go up the Roman of a night to get fish and chips or something because there's a lot of boys standing on the corner and things like that. It's breaking that down that we're trying to do, and hopefully with these boys, because most of the kids of the day, they all get tired with the wrong brush. They're all right. Some of them, they need something to harness onto. They need something to do, and you know, that's worthwhile. So this fear of crime, it's got to be broken down, and one of the ways of doing it is by us all meeting like this. That's right. And it's really good. It's really good. Yeah.
Especially if we've got a bit of all the time I've been talking to all these young people, and it really pleases me when they come up and talk to me, because I think it's great that they come up to, and I think by talking we can do so much. And it is talking, and it's easier to be friendly than it is to be aggressive. And I haven't met any bad ones. I haven't met any bad ones. It's a shame that this has got about, but a minority of course, I should think. But people are frightened to go out and see them because they see a group of them and they're frightened of the group. Where the group is nothing really to be afraid of, and most of them are just nice kids. And I think we should all talk to each other more. And the more we talk to each other, the more it would improve things.
I was going to say, I think a lot of it is high spirits. I mean, we all have this.
We all have
when we were kids.
We all go through, each generation go through it.
And there's no difference in the generations as such.
I don't know if old people were frightened of me when
Oh, no way. We were frightened of them.
I hope they wasn't. My gran wasn't, and I got well with them. But this is the thing, it's easy to be friendly, and you've only got to say hello to people, and it makes so much difference. And it makes so much difference. As I say, with you young people, you just talk to people. Don't worry about how old they are or what they are. Just talk. Say hello to people.
There's a lot more pressure on youngsters these days, you know, than we experienced when we were young. I mean, we were allowed to go up at a much more leisurely pace than they do now. Whereas they've got to start at quite a young age. If they want to get anywhere, they've got to knuckle down and start from much earlier age than what we did.
We left school at 14, and I feel sorry for the young people today because they go on to school longer. I don't know if they're learning anymore or not, I don't know. but there isn't the jobs for them now that there was in our day. I feel sorry for the younger people because it's so hard to get work now.
That's what I'm saying. We've got to knuckle down much earlier than what we had to. I mean, we could kick about the streets a bit more. You could go and get a job, then pack it in and go and get another job within hours,
How old
couldn't
were you when you left school?
15. I'm
15.
younger,
How old are they when they leave?
I
mean, I left when I was 30 before I was 14. But what age do they leave school now?
They can't leave.
18. So I mean, this is the thing. They leave school at 18 and they can't get jobs.
Yeah, but we left school at 14.
And we
And
had a
then
job to go to.
4 years later, you was in the army.
Yeah.
Well, I don't want to send these into the army. That's the last thing I want to do. Because I got caught and had to go to the army, and I didn't like it at all. I mean, I was showing pictures of like working in Billingsgate where it was all manual work. There's none of those manual jobs about now. And some people are more suited to manual work than now. I mean, we still had to have brains working like I did. I mean, I carried boxes of fish on my head, and I said that's the only head work I did, but it wasn't. Because I had to work out.
How much he was going to? As he's going along, he's working out how much for him.
As I was going along with the box on my head, I was thinking, how much is this box worth? I mean, I'd have a box on my head that's worth a shilling, and I could deliver that, and I've earned a shilling for carrying that box. So you had to have your brains about you all the time. You had to think, you had to remember what you had to do. So even though there were physical jobs, you still had to use your brain and you're still sharp. But there is no sort of jobs about now. There's no manufacturing like there was, and so it's so hard to get a job. I don't know, what do you want to go into when you...
I want to go into engineering and stuff, like
You want to go into-
plumbing or like physical work, like buildings and stuff.
Yeah, that's great, and I hope you can get those jobs, but they seem to be hard to get now. And why, I don't know. Because a lot of the reason is because they're bringing people in from abroad to do those sort of jobs who can already do them without training our youngsters to do them. There should be more apprenticeships, there should be a lot more training for those physical
apprenticeships
things.
no more, is there?
You've got to have those physical things.
I'm a bricklayer by trade, but I can't work on the building sites because, I mean, when I learnt my trade in 1986, I was on an apprenticeship and we was getting like 130s a day then. Now they want you to go on the building site and work for like £70 a day. You know, like with the family and everything, you've got to pay rent and everything. It's not worth it. So, you know, and they've got people like these Polish and all that come over here, and if you start bricklaying against, like, you could start building the same wall next to each other. He's finished these by dinner time, and because you ain't working as fast as he can work, then you know you're no good. See you later. Calling on his mate. That's what they done on the site round the Old Dell. All the Cockneys was round there, all of us together, about 25 of us, and then what happened? They got a couple of foreigners come. They started doing the work. Before you know it, they took over the old site, and you know, because they was doing it cheaper.
Over this Olympics park there, in the canteen, there's no coffee smoke here.
There you go. Says it all.
A little thing, my grandchildren down in Caravan the weekend, and was having a laugh and joke, and some of them, I mean, 18, 20, simple things when you go for a job. I asked them all, what's the name of the Prime Minister? None of them knew. Do you know the name of the Prime Minister? Do you know the name of the Mayor of London?
Yeah.
What? Who is the Mayor of London?
Is that guy Boris?
Boris. Yeah, these are simple things that when you might go for a job working in Tesco's, they'll ask you simple things like that to see if you're not, you know, buried in Facebook and Twitter. You do know a little bit of simple things like who the Prime Minister is, what's the name of the Queen's husband, and things like that. Yeah, so they ask kids at the day, and most of them don't know. Yeah.